Let's go and try to understand today ANSAN 29 transaction control transformation. Shortly it is also known as TCL, transaction control transformation. Okay, transaction control transformation. Now, if you go and try to observe first point, it is active transformation and it is connected type of transformation. Then, what is the advantage of this one is a transaction is a set of rows bound by a commit or rollback of the rows. Sorry. A transaction is a set of rows bound by commit or rollback rows. You can define a transaction based on a varying number of input rows. What is the meaning is if you go and observe here, let us say our workflow. Now go and try to observe any one session properties. Let us say session, then properties. Now by default what is happening is commit is happening every 10,000 rows one commit is issuing. Okay, commit on the type is called as target. Okay, it is issuing the 10,000 rows. Every 10,000 rows one commit is issuing. But what we are trying to say in this point is we have to issue a commit or rollback based on one transaction. Transaction here is nothing but a group of records is called as a transaction. In this context, transaction meaning a group of records. A group of records is called as transaction here. In Power Center, you define transaction control at the following levels. One is called as within a mapping level. Within a mapping, you use the transaction control transformation to define a transaction. You define transaction using an expression in a transaction control transformation. Based on the written value of the expression, you can choose to commit or roll back or continue without any transaction changes. For example, if you go and try to see these nodes, this diagram, if you observe here I have one diagram. This was the transaction control diagram. Some calculation column it is. We are saying as date out flag is equal to 1. Then I am saying as commit before. Before entering the next record, we are trying to commit it. If it is not 1, then we are saying as TC continue. We are asking to continue this one. We are asking to continue for the next record. So based on the condition of the transaction, control transformation, we are deciding you want to commit before processing the next record or you want to continue the next record. We are deciding it. Okay, that's what this point meaning here. If you go and see that point, again try to read out. So within a mapping, you use a transaction control transformation to define a transaction. You define transactions using an expression in a transaction control transformation. Based on the written value of the expression, you can choose to commit or roll back or continue whatever you want. In my expression, I shown one is called as commit I shown, second is called as continue I shown. If you use other things like TC commit after, TC rollback before, TC rollback after, this kind of things, rollback also I might be showing over there. Same commit things you can select at the level of session level. Within a session, when you configure a session, you configure if for user defined commits. You can choose to commit or roll back. You can choose to commit or roll back a transaction if the integration service fails to transform or write any row to the target. So whatever you want, you can go and you can select here. In the session level also, we are able to select it. Is it clear? Now, when you run the session, the integration service evaluates the expression for each row that enters the transformation. When it evaluates a commit row, it commits all rows in the transaction to the target or targets. When the integration service evaluates a rollback row, it rolls back all the rows of the transaction from the target or targets. So based on the record, set of records will be committed or a set of records will be rolled back. A transaction meaning set of records are called as transaction. To do this one, we have 5 types of functions are available. One is called as TC continue transaction, TC commit before, then TC commit after, TC rollback before, TC rollback after. These are the 5 types of functions are available. What do you mean by TC continue transaction? The integration service does not perform any transaction change for this row. This is the default value of the expression. It won't commit, it won't roll back, just to try to allow to the next level. Just read that point. Next is available commit before. The integration service commits the transaction, begins a new transaction, and writes the current row to the target. The current row is in the new transaction. So let's say first row is processed, second row is processed, third row is processed, fourth row we come across TC commit before. Then what will happen is the 3 things will be as part of the transaction 1 commit will be happens, and this will go to the transaction 2. This will go to the transaction 2. That is what the TC commit before. Whenever you are entering the 4th record, this TC commit before is occurred. This will be pushed into the second transaction. All 3 records will be passed as a transaction 1 and it will be committed. TC commit after means the integration service writes the current row to the target, commits the transaction and begins a new transaction. The current row is in the committed transaction. In this case, what happens is in the 4th record only it is occurred. Then these 4 records will be treated as a one transaction, and this will be committed. And whatever we have next transaction that is called as 5th one, that will be treated as a transaction 2. That's what the meaning of your TC commit after. TC commit after. Any questions? Now, similarly, rollback also will be working. If you go for TC rollback before, the integration service rolls back the current transaction, begins a new transaction, and writes the current row to the target. The current row is in the new transaction. This is similar to this one. Only difference is your commit is applying, your rollback is applying. This is also similar to this one. Just have a look on this one and let me know if you have any questions. Any questions? Pankaj, Santosh, Srigovind, any questions? No? Okay, very good. Let us go for next one. If the transaction control expression evaluates to a value other than commit or rollback or continue, the integration service fails the session. Okay, now this total transformation is deciding here. You want to commit when, you want to roll back when, you want to continue when. You want to commit, you want to roll back, you want to continue when, you want to continue when, you want to commit when, you want to roll back. Based on the condition, it is going to do the things, right? So, for example, I have the source table data like this. I have transaction date is available. Transaction date is available. There is nothing but this is what the transaction date. And we have your customer number is available. This is nothing but this one. Amount paid is available. This is nothing but this one. Now what is my goal is, after one date corresponding everything is processed. After one date corresponding everything is processed, then I want to issue one commit. This is the one commit, and this is the one commit, and this is the one commit. In my data I given 3 dates I given, so 3 commits I require. Whenever one date corresponding all the records are completed, I want to issue one commit I want to issue. Whenever one date corresponding all things are completed, then I want to issue one commit I want to issue. So that whenever it is processing, let us say third set of records, something is happened, something is failed, then I can go and I can load from again, recover the task from the 5th record onwards, and I can load from the 5th record onwards. Okay, so in my set of data I have 6 records. 3 commits are required. Why? Because 3 dates corresponding things I taken 01, 03 and 02. Okay, now this one, next we are going for the target table. We create the target table. We are creating a mapping with the name of m_tc is the mapping. Then drag and drop source and target. Introduce sorted transformation. Drag and drop all ports from source qualifier to sorted transformation. Source qualifier to sorted transformation. Double click on sorted transformation. Go to the ports tab. Sort data ascending on port transaction date. So this is what the transaction date. We are keeping here ascending order. The reason is, if you see the dates here, wantedly we have here data first 01, then 03, then 02. Actual order is what? 02, 03 should be there. So we are trying to order first, then introduce expression transformation, drag and drop all ports from sorted transformation to expression, double click on expression transformation, go to ports tab, create the ports as shown below. Whatever transaction date is available, the transaction date we are trying to compare with the previous date we are trying to compare. Previous date is nothing but while it was executing, after this is processed, we assign the transaction date to this one. See, this transaction date is not this transaction date. Already see, before assigning this value only, this is executing, right? This previous date is nothing but in previous record load, whatever date is available, that date only. These points you have to understand very clearly. The order of the ports are very important. So before this assignment only, this record is processing, right? What is the value of this previous date? What is the value of previous date? In the previous transaction, in the previous record processing, whatever record is available, that record is this one. Not the current record, So we are trying to compare the current record with the previous record we are trying to compare. Both are equal. That means we are saying as 0. It is not a new date. It is the same date. Both are not equal. Then we are saying as 1. It is a new date. We are accepting it. Then that whatever new date flag is available, that one we are trying to keep in the date out flag. In the date out flag, if it sees the 0, that means it has to continue. If it sees the 1, that means it has to commit. So we are trying to, based on this one, we are trying to take the decision, we are trying to take it. Introducing the transaction control transformation, we drag and drop these all columns from expression to transaction control. Double click on this one, go to properties tab, create the value as shown below. This was the condition. Then we are connecting to the target we are trying to connect it. Save the mapping, create workflow, session, provide connections, run it, observe session log, use the different commit points, observe the target data. Very simple. Is it clear? Now let me summarize what we learned. Default every 10,000 rows are committed. Default every 10,000 rows are committed. Every 10,000 rows are committed in the session properties. Committed using session properties. Now, if we need user defined commits at mapping level, then need to use transaction control transformation. For example, in source data, some transactions are available date-wise. Some transactions are available date-wise. Some transactions are available date-wise. Now we need to commit after processing of date by date. Processing of every date group, each and every date group. So each and every date group I want to commit. At that moment we are trying to take here TC help, we are taking TC transformation has 5 functions, or is also called as sometimes values. 5 functions are values. One is TC commit before, TC commit after, TC rollback before, TC rollback after, then continue. These are the 5 things which are available. Already we are aware of those things. Now if you do this exercise, then we will be comfortable. Let me give the control to someone. Yes, Pankaj, I am giving control to you. I give the control. I think your source table, target table already created in our databases. Yesterday by mistake in the while I was explaining the previous batch, this things is created. You can start from the third point. First you have to import it, but you have to import into your designer under, then we have to start from the third point. Import the source table and target table. Pankaj, you there? Hello? You there? Krishna, you there? I am giving control to you. I give the control. Please go to the SQL developer and try to observe first those 2 tables. Try to observe. Then go and try to see in the sources. You will have src underscore tc table, src underscore tc table from last second one. So in this table, I taken here three records. One is called as transaction date, second is called as customer number, third is called as amount paid. So three dates are different dates we taken here. One is 01st September, then 03rd September, two records, 02 corresponding two records. So I can say now three groups of data is available. This is one group of data, this is one group of data, and this is one group of data. So this group of data is called as transaction 1. As for our transaction control, one group of data is called as one transaction. A group of records are called as group of records are called as one transaction. Now these are three transactions are available with you. Three transactions are available with you. This is the one transaction, this is the one transaction. Okay, three transaction records are available. Now similarly observe the target data. Similarly observe the target data. Now expand the tables. There we have here TZT, TARG, TC. Now here also you can observe here same three things but without any data, because data we are going to get by executing the mapping. As of now there is no data here. Excellent. Now we understand the two tables. We have to import those two tables into Informatica as a source and target respectively. Let's go and try to import it. Go to the designer. Krishna, go to the designer. Krishna, are you there? Please go to the designer. Now go to the source analyzer. Go to the source analyzer. Source analyzer. This is the source analyzer. Then clear the workspace and try to import the source table. Go to the sources menu. Then import from database. Then provide the password. Now we have the target and source, both are available. Create the mapping. First we have to drag and drop the source and target. Transaction control you can drag and drop later also. Source is available over there, src underscore tc. Then target also have to drag and drop. Then with this we completed the point number. Third is complete. Create a mapping, drag and drop source and target into the work area. Then introduce the sorter transformation. Drag and drop all ports from source qualifier to sorter transformation. Double click on sorter transformation. Go to the ports tab. Sort data ascending on port called as transaction date. We are trying to select it. Try to do that. Introduce the sorter transformation. Introduce the sorter transformation. Then give the name as sort based on transaction data. Sort on transaction date. Sort on transaction date. Create. Then done. Okay. Now try to drag and drop. Drag and drop all the things onto sorter. Then double click on the sorter. Go to the properties tab. Then select here, key column as ascending order, right? Okay. Next line. Next line is what? We have to go for introduce expression transformation. Drag and drop all ports from sorter transformation to expression. Double click on expression transformation. Go to ports tab. Create ports as shown here. So if you go and observe, we are trying to create here 3 ports. One is called as new date flag. The data type as decimal, and we are trying to say as transaction date is equal to previous date 0, 1, previous date and date underscore out flag. Try to create first 3 flags. Introduce expression transformation. Introduce expression transformation. We are trying to compare the incoming record with our previous record processed. Comparison flag we are trying to calculate. Okay, done. That's fine. Now try to drag and drop all the ports from sorter transformation to here. Drag and drop all the ports from sorter transformation to here. Double click on expression transformation. Then ports tab. Select the third port. Then create 3 ports. Now one port is called as what we are trying to do here. It is a new date or not we are trying to capture. So new date underscore flag. It's a decimal. Now create the next column that has previous date. Then this has date. Now this is next one is available date out underscore flag. Decimal, that's right. These three are not coming as a input, so try to disable. Now first new date flag, whatever available, remove that one. Then try to provide the condition if now what is the meaning? If the transaction date, whatever it's coming, is equal to previous whatever we processed the record. That date I want, right? Previous date. Previous date is not appearing, right? The problem is we have to select the output port for the previous date. We didn't select it, I think. Cancel it. Previous date is a variable as well as the output. Is a variable. This variable we didn't select it over there, so it is not appearing. Okay. So remaining two things are as it is. See this one. First two things are variables, and date out underscore flag is output. Try to select in the same way. Yes. Now go and try to do it. If transaction date is equal to previous date, now comma, if both are equal, then it is not a new record. Then it is not a new record. Whatever we process the previous record, same record, that record date only available. That means it is not a new day transaction. One day transactions we are committing one time. Okay, we are comparing incoming transaction record with previous record processed transaction date. Both are not same. That is the reason we are going to say if it is not same. If equal to, then we are saying as what? It's not a previous record. Sorry, it's not a new record. That's what we are saying as 0. Otherwise 1. Okay, click on OK. Now, next one. Okay, once this condition is executed, previous date we have to change as now current date. Previous date, whatever available, that one we are trying to assign to year. So that next time whenever we are executing, the previous date is nothing but what? Previous record transaction date will be assigned here. This will be executed. After execution, we are assigning, sir. Remember that point. After execution, we are assigning it. Okay, anyhow, we'll run the debugger, we'll run it, we'll come to understand at the end of this one how the values are processing. Okay, now go for date out underscore flag. The date underscore flag is we are providing it as date out flag is equal to new date flag. Whatever we have the value, whatever we got the value, that value we are processing here. Let us go and try to do that. Not that one, not that one. Not this one. Oh, we have to, sorry. You're correct, sir. You have to assign transaction date over there, right? You're trying to assign transaction date. Yes, good. Try to assign the transaction date. Transaction date. Okay. Now, next one is new date flag. Okay. Then, okay. Now introduce this is completed. With this we completed 5th point. 6th point is introduce transaction control transformation. Drag and drop transaction date, customer number, amount paid, and date underscore out underscore flag from expression to transaction control. Double click on transaction control transformation. Then go to properties tab, create value as shown below. So what we are doing is, if the date out flag is equal to 1, we are trying to commit it. If it is 1 means what? The incoming record is a new day corresponding transactions. That is the reason we are committing before. If it is not, then we are trying to continue it. Try to do that one. Then drag and drop from expression to here all the ports. Then double click on TCL. Then go to the drop down. Then provide the condition here. Remove that one, whatever available. Yeah, keep it okay. If okay, that's okay. If the flag date out flag is equal to 1, then continue. 1 means what? Date out flag. Date out. You need not type here. Here there should be available here as a one variable. You can see these all things are called as different types of predefined where under the variables it is available. So you can take from there. Comma. At the end, close this, validate. Okay. Then okay. Then okay. Now from here to target, try to connect it. From here to target, try to connect it. Then let us go and try to arrange all iconic. This is what we did it. Arrange all source qualifier, then starter transformation. From starter transformation, expression transformation, then transaction control, then target we got it. Okay, total overall flow looks like this. Overall flow looks like this. This symbol also, if you observed or not, this green mark is saying as something like committed, commit, and this one red whatever available, this is called as rollback. Rollback. So this is what the transaction control we are doing it. Okay, one by one transaction it is happening. This is one transaction. This is the one transaction. A transaction is nothing but a group of records. Group of records called as transaction here. Now save it. Save it. Okay, now create the workflow and session. Then connect these two things. Double click on the session task. Then mappings. Then select the target. Okay. Okay. Now go on, try to click on OK. That's fine. Save it. Then run this one. Now go to the workflow monitor, observe the status, then read the log file one by one line of the session log. If it's not connected, please connect to the repository. Then it is succeeded. Now right click on the session task, then get the session log, maximize it. Now observe one by one line of code here. First it's saying as initializing the session, and the repository this one, and server name is this one, and folder is this one, workflow is this one, mapping name is this one, date format is this one, session is run by 64-bit integrated server, running the partition group 1, parallel pipeline engine initializing, installation session run, server mode is ASCII. These all are details about the server, things are available. Now here TC underscore sort is the sort on transaction date, cache size for platform is decided, for partition is decided, for the transformation use this much of things, initializing the load order group 1, load order group 1 source qualifier, DTM installation, and it is saying as starting free session task. Free session tasks are completed successfully. Starting data movement, buffer full size, and if you observe this one, target table statement, no column marked, and mainly you have to concentrate on one is available here. What is this? User defined commit point. We define the commit point at what level we define, based on the date we define. Like these things, how many user defined commit points are available? 3 groups of records I taken. First day corresponding, second day corresponding, third day corresponding. So how many user commits will be available? Tell me. Folks, if you tell the answer, then only I can believe you understand. How many user defined commits will be available here? Log 3. Yeah. Why? Because 3 sets of records are available. That's what we can observe here. 3 sets of user defined things only available. 3 sets of things only available here. Okay. Now finally it is trying to end the load, and it's trying to go for commit at the end of the load order group entirely. It is trying to commit it. Then load complete date, those all things is given. So once running is completed, you can go and you can observe the target data also. Let us say database are going. Then refresh it. There you can see all the things are key. All the things are key. In the sorting order only it is came by, because we sorted the data, right? That's why it is came in the sorting order. Any questions in the transaction control transformation? If time permits for you.
Sir, I have one question here.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we are trying to commit the transaction based on the previous record's transaction date.
Correct.
So for my last record, the date would be the same. I mean, there won't be any change in the date. So how would it commit after the last record?
You mean to say previous record and this record both are same, right?
Yes, for the sixth record, the date would be same. There won't be any change in the date. So my flag would be 0 only.
Then only one commit will happen at the end. If all dates are same, then only one commit will happen at the end.
Okay, so at the end, by default, one commit will be happening.
Yeah, that's what
Correct?
you can observe. Session level we have one commit is there. The
Yeah.
log also can
Okay.
observe here. These three are user defined commits. And apart from these user defined commits, we have commit at the end of the load order group. Okay, this is the default
Okay,
one.
fine.
The default one. Okay, right. Now, this is what the transaction control transformation. If time permits for you, please go through the help document once. Let us say help, contents, then go for show, then go and try to observe here transformation guide and transaction control transformation. So please try to walk through it once. Okay, then you come to understand more points. Right. Next one is available, that's called as part of the advanced training we are starting. Till today, whatever we learned, those all things I can say, learner level of the training. Okay. Now we are going for next level of the training, that is called as advanced training of the Informatica. Okay, now in that one we have the first one that is called as Maplet. What do you mean by Maplet? As of now, if you go and try to see in the designer navigator, you are aware of it. What do you mean by source analyzer? You are aware of it. And what do you mean by target designer? We are aware of it. What do you mean by mapping designer? We are aware of it. Here we have one guy. That guy is known as Maplet designer. What is this? Maplet designer. We don't know what it is and what is the use of this one. This one we are trying to understand now. This one we will try to understand now. A maplet is a reusable object that we create in the Maplet designer. A maplet is a reusable object that we create in the Maplet designer. It contains a set of transformations and can be reused in multiple mappings. Wherever you want to use it, you can go and you can use it. Suppose one regularly used logic is available. Better to create a maplet. The maplet try to drag and drop into the mapping, so that tomorrow any changes are occurred, we need not change any mapping. Directly I can change the maplet that will reflect all the places. It is simply reusable object. Now third point, maplet input is a one thing is available. Maplet input can originate from a source definition and or from an input transformation in the maplet. We can create multiple pipelines in a maplet. Okay, maplet input is one of the transformation actually. If you go and try to create here one maplet, I am trying to create here maplet. Give some name. Then you can observe here two things should be activated. One is called as maplet input and maplet output. This is called as maplet input, that is a one transformation. Maplet input is a one transformation. And one more thing is available, that is called as maplet output. This maplet input and maplet output are available only in the maplet designer. In the mapping designer, you cannot use this one. These two things are disabled. So maplet input and maplet output are part of the maplet and visible only in the maplet only it is visible. The maplet only it is visible. Am I clear that point? Now, process. We have the process. We'll try to understand this process. Let us go and try to create a target table of the name with the columns employee number, salary, commission, tax, total salary, and import into the Informatica as target. Try to create this table. Are those input and output are mandatory in the maplet? Yes, mandatory. Without that we cannot do the things. Right. Try to take that one. Take that SQL query and try to execute in the target. Yes, go ahead. First point is completed. We have to import the table. any one is null, then I don't want that record. If everything is not null, then only I want that record to the target. Yeah, false is a system defined keyword. That's why it won't demand any single quotes and all. Okay. That's fine, leave it, no problem. Then okay. Then pass to the target. I mean to say map rate output. All the ports I want it. Save it. Now maplet is ready. So maplet is nothing but a set of reusable transformations. Now this all transformation as a set we are going to reuse wherever you want it. Wherever you want it, you can go and you can reuse it. So that's what we are trying to do in the next one. We are trying to call this one inside the mapping. We are trying to call this one inside the mapping. We'll try to understand from here tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll also see some kind of use cases of this maplet. Then we'll move on to the next one. This is what the use case is available. Then we'll move on to the next one that is called as reusable transformation. Okay, thank you. And from here onwards, all are simple chapters only. Okay, small content will be there. Okay, thank you. Tomorrow we'll discuss. Bye bye. And tomorrow, as usual, timings only, even though it is a Saturday. Thank you.